Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Building the Ultimate Matchbox Car Collection. My name's Tyrone, and for a while I've been planning to do a little video on the Javelins, including an unboxing of this guy. But when it arrived, the condition of the packaging was so good, it made me realise how much care had been taken over the decades to preserve it, and there's a little hole in there just from UV damage and a bit of pressure, and somebody's thumb has gone through it. But apart from that, it's in such good condition. It felt a little bit sad just to tear it open like I do with everything else I get my hands on. So in the end I decided to keep it as is. For the next person, I suppose, to decide whether or not they're going to do what I normally do and destroy the packaging. And it led to the preservation, I suppose, of a lot of other things that arrived in similar condition. Not to say I don't wreck most packaging I get hold of, because I do, especially the newer stuff, but it did give me a little bit of appreciation for packaging in general of these things, and so I decided to try and protect, the condition of the boxes if they came in really good condition, as these ones in the background have. We'll do a little quick video on the Javelins because that was the intention in the first place. Before destroying something. So we'll just quickly go ahead and go through some of the Javelins we have. So we have the Pro Stockers first, the AMX, and then the Dr. Pepper and the Dr. Pepper team in the background. This one here is one that never came into production. It was a colour trial for a competition they had at a Matchbox convention, I believe in the United Kingdom. It would have been the mid-80s, and people, or attendees to the convention, were asked to vote whether they wanted the Dr. Pepper or the Minolta camera Javelin to go into production, and obviously this one didn't win, so it was scrapped. But still a good looking car, and I managed to get hold of it last year, I think, maybe the year before, off eBay, and haven't seen one available since, so I'm not sure if it's what they call hard to find or rare, whatever, but I like it, and it's happily in my collection now. And then you've got the US normal Javelin, US edition. Wasn't released anywhere else, I believe. Certainly wasn't released in New Zealand, where I grew up, or Australia, where I now live. And then of course the blue one, which came as part of the 2-pack on the back wall there. And then you get into the nitty-gritty variants, like you have different colour interiors, slightly different shade of green, and on it goes. Painted base, non-painted base. The scoop on the hood is different colours sometimes, and as I say, on it goes. But bottom line is, this one won't be unboxed today. I'll keep it as is, in the condition it is in now. There are different ways to protect your prized boxes, if that's how you feel about them. Switching brands now to Tomica. Last year I was lucky enough to go to Tokyo to have a look for Matchbox, ironically, Didn't find any, but they are big on their local brand, which is Tomica, and found a second-hand store in Tokyo, and this is how they displayed their rarer or their older mint condition models. Box and model, completely protected from dust and grime and fingers. I got a few like that from two little old men in a very intriguing, shall we say, shop. My wife thought it was a good idea to haggle on the price, and the old Japanese guy behind the till said, with a smile on his face, "You might find it in another shop." So I had a good laugh about that. He was graceful about it, and we wound up paying the asking price. Not a haggler, obviously, but worth asking. So here we've got different types of boxes. I think, mainly Matchbox, but there are a few exceptions. This one's Corgi for the Olympics, London Olympics of 2012, and various boxes, as I mentioned in another video. If you go for premium, you get the blister pack with all the fancy artwork, you get the model, and you get the box. So you can have the best of both worlds. You can have the childish joy of destroying packaging to get to your toy, and you get to keep the box as well. This is the type of box I knew as a kid and cherished the most. There was no blister pack back then. It was as is, and look after it or not. Quite often, just in the excitement of getting the model, just opening the box in the first place, one of these end tabs got ripped off, but preservation of box wasn't in mind. In the 80s they went to this silly idea, I believe, because UV light gets in and anything plastic and white goes yellow and brittle. No protection at all. Buying boxes like this off eBay, I've fallen to the trap a few times of paying for a product that I was never going to get, and that is advertised as mint in box unopened, and it comes in, there's evidence that it was opened. Sometimes they do a really good job of sealing it, sometimes not, but bottom line is you get the model out of the box and there's playware or worse on it. I got this one off a Facebook community page recently, and the seller had the good grace to say mint in opened box, which is fair and honest, and I paid accordingly, and sure enough the model is mint, and sure enough the box is opened, but sort of just taped up. I don't mind that at all. Just honesty is what you need in this game, especially in the second-hand market. And strangely, sometimes the box is worth more than the model car. I don't see the sense of it, but that's the market for you. And watch out for the reproduction boxes. These are reproduction boxes of reproduction models, so it's fair and square, you know what you're buying. They're sort of a cheap idea of recreating the originals. It's of the late 90s to early 2000s. I think that's sort of the mid 90s, late 80s. Current day, no way of reselling the box, and really not much chance of opening the box without destroying it. But that's cheap and cheerful. Shovel these to one side. there. And go through some of the other toy manufacturers' packaging these days. In Australia, at least, this is how Tomica are marketed or packaged and presented. Again, this is sort of mid-range in the premium stakes. Matchbox would call this opening parts because the doors do open. I think these are about $8 Australian, but no way of opening this without wrecking the packet, but you do get the box, which is quite nice. In Japan, you will find, do I have it? Yes, I do. They're sold like this en masse, sort of wrapped up like a cigarette packet. But thank you. But one of the things I enjoyed about collecting Tomica in Japan was if you wanted the set, you could go into a major department store and buy the whole set there on the spot. The stock levels were amazing, whereas pretty much anything else, Hot Wheels, Majorette, at least in Australia, and certainly Matchbox, if you want the whole set, you're going to be driving all over town for weeks. And if you're lucky, you'll get the whole set of whatever you're chasing. Tomica, it was all there on display, fully stocked. If you had the money on the day, you got the whole set on the day, and which is what I did with a few sets. And with the premium range, the box really sells the product. Cute little car. Really high quality, and I forget how much this was, but it's sort of premium-ish. Lovely amount of detail and quality, and you get to keep all the box bits and pieces if you want them. As you know, Matchbox do this one, which there is no way of preserving if you want to see the model in the flesh, so to speak. But it's not a new thing. This is from the 60s, 70s, whatever. I wonder if it's got, can't see the year of copyright there. But it's decades, they've been doing it that way. Again, I think I'll keep this one intact rather than destroy the packaging. Hot Wheels obviously do the same thing. They're not big on individual boxing. This is a 60s or 70s style. This is a new product, but it's a throwback from their original boxing or packaging. Again, no way of preserving. Majorette started a long time ago doing the same thing. Packaging is pretty good on this one, so I'll keep it intact. But no protection for the model really from UV rays. And of course their premium comes in elaborate packaging, but you can still keep the box with the model. And there's another, it's a Hot Wheels Javelin, speaking of javelins. And of course they get very elaborate with their packaging, but there are the cars in there. All in Japanese, but you get the picture, literally. Got quite a few of those on the trip. And Hot Wheels go to similar lengths with their packaging. That's just the carded versions. Yes, this is it. Once you get it open, it's really just what you get from regular peg hunting. Pay a premium for the presentation. Looks okay. And then of course these days they've gone really fancy. But again, at least you can keep the box intact if you want to. So there we have it, to box or not to, or to unbox or not to unbox. Personal preference. Sometimes they make it easier, sometimes they make it impossible. But while I've got this one, at least it'll stay as is, in perfect boxed condition. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and click like, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.